Nazor here again. My name is nazor.ezeh of nazor.ezeh's channel. You're very welcome. If you're seeing my face for the first time, thank you so much for tuning in. My OGs, it's been a while since I think, when was the last time I used the word OG on this channel? I can't remember, but I am saying a big thank you to you guys for sticking with me throughout my YouTube journey and everything. Thank you. So I want to talk about, anyway, you saw my title, right? By now, from all the videos I've made on my channel about CS, you should know by now that I'm a very strong advocate. What did I say? What was the word I just said now? You should know by now that I'm a very strong advocate for cesarean section. Yeah, because I'm tired. I am extremely tired of hearing about women dying during childbirth or reading about women dying during childbirth online from avoidable death. So something that can easily be avoided if only they would agree to opt for a cesarean section. And this always happens when it is an emergency, when the baby is in distress, the mother is in distress, they need to operate, and the woman is saying things, her husband is saying things, her family is saying things, her church is saying things that no CS, they must deliver like Hebrew women. I'm tired of it. So I've been thinking, from the stories I've been reading so far, I've been thinking, and I noticed that one of the major reasons why women shy away from cesarean section is fear. Fear because they don't know, especially those that have never done it before. Fear because they don't know what to expect. They don't know what the procedure is going to be like for them. They have never done it before. And from watching videos on YouTube of cesarean section procedures, they don't really know what to expect. So me now, you people know I've done it 3 times. So I'm here to give my first-hand experience. I want to recount my experiences to you so that if you're contemplating having a cesarean section, you would at least know what to expect. So that's the essence of this video. One day I was taking a shower. Of course, it's inside the bedroom that my good ideas used to come. Does it happen to you? I know that it happens to a lot of people. What is it about the bedroom that makes us have our brilliant ideas? Is it the calmness? Is it the flowing water? Is it the sound of the water? I don't know what it is. But I know that I usually get my brilliant ideas while in the shower. So I had this idea that, you know what, let me film a video recounting my cesarean section experiences. Maybe when somebody, I'm just hoping that this video would save somebody's life. Somebody maybe that is trying to decide whether they should opt for CS, whether their doctor said they should do it or maybe they just want to do it elective CS. Because yeah, there is nothing wrong with elective cesarean section. Your doctor doesn't have to, you don't have to have a medical condition for you to opt to choose CS. See, video for another day is that there is no shame in cesarean section. I'm going to write it down. Video for another day. Anyway, so I'm hoping that this video is going to help you. Now let me just go right into it. Let me not ramble for too long. My very first cesarean section was an elective one because of the things that happened in the vaginal birth before that one. So when I went to the hospital to plan with my doctor about how it's going to go, my doctor said I was going to sleep at the hospital that night. And me now, I really don't like sleeping in the hospital. I don't like hospitals, the smell and everything. I just don't like hospitals, and I try to limit the number of nights I spend in a hospital generally. So because my doctor wanted me to sleep there and I didn't want to sleep there, so he said the reason why he wanted me to sleep there was so that they would prep me on time, because he likes to operate early in the morning. So I told him, Shebi is the same first stack. I will come early. Just tell me what time you want me to come. If you want me to come out by 4 a.m., I will come out by 4 a.m. So he said no problem, that I should just come as early as 5:30, 6 a.m. I said fine. So, but he told me not to eat before coming. Yeah, my last meal was supposed to be around 8 p.m. the night before, and that was not a big deal. I didn't eat. So the next morning, as early as 5:30 a.m., I got up. My friend was going to come and pick my kids to take them to school because my husband was not in the country. So I went off to the hospital. So I got there quite early, And then I was there before the doctor safe and the anesthesiologist. So when I was there, the nurses started to prep me. They prepped me by shaving me, they gave me a gown to wear, and they opened IV line for me. By the way, the gown that they gave me to wear was open all the way down at the back. So they opened the IV line for me. You know how it feels when they open IV line for someone and with the injection and everything. It hurts, sha, because I always like it when they do it here. I don't know if you can see, there's a dark spot here. This is where they always do it. And there's another one here. Yeah. So this part always hurts anyway. I think you can ask them to open it wherever you can stand, sharp. So they opened the IV lines, and then when the anesthesiologist came, okay, the doctor got there first, and then the anesthesiologist came, and then they put me in a wheelchair and they wheeled me into the theater. So when we got into the theater, it was very white. Everywhere was so white, so sterile, and so cold. Very cold. Everything was already sterilized. All their equipments were ready. There were 2 doctors, there were 2 nurses, and then the anesthesiologist. Everywhere was calm. That's why I like elective CS, because everybody is calm. There's no rush. Everybody is ready and on their A game. They are ready to bring their A game. You get, it's not like when there's a rush, when there's already an emergency, baby is in distress, everybody is rushing, they are not even sterilizing things, people are rushing, they can even forget something inside somebody's stomach. Does that even happen? I don't know. It happens in movies anyway. So the theater was sterile. And then I was even allowed to play music, because that's one of the things I told my doctor when we were discussing my birth plan and everything. I had my playlist ready, gospel music, I was playing my playlist. Now, about how I felt, I will not lie. It was my very first CS. I did not know what to expect, apart from the videos I watched and everything I had read. But nothing prepares you for how you would actually feel, because no matter how prepared you are, you're a human being, you will still feel that fear. So I felt a little bit of trepidation and fear, but I tried not to focus on what was about to happen to me. I tried not to focus on the curtain and everything. I just removed my mind from there, and I just decided to just take it as it goes, you get. So that really helps. Don't focus on what is about to happen to you. Don't focus on the fact that they are about to cut your stomach open, you get. The anesthesiologist now started to wipe my back, because they have to sterilize your back. They have to clean it before they can inject anything, maybe to avoid infection, the chances of infection and everything. So he used a solution, a dark brownish solution. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's iodine, but he used a brownish solution to clean my back. He kept on scrubbing my back, especially along my spine, because he needed to inject the medication into my spine. So he wiped it really well, and then he injected. Do you know that it's recently that I decided to even watch how that injection thing is, how it happens. That's after I've had all my babies. So I said, let me even go and watch. And I watched and I saw how they do it, the needle and everything. Anyway, so he now injected me. He now pressed, before he did that, they had to make me hold a pillow. He made me hold a pillow. I had to clutch the pillow in front of me. I clutched it to my belly, and then you bend and arch your back, so that your spine will come out very well, so that he will be able to press, they will be able to press along your spine to find the space where they would inject, that he will find the space to inject the medication. So during my first CS experience, he was able to find it, and he injected once. He got it once. My second CS, I don't know, for some reason, it took the anesthesiologist during that one time to find. He injected me like 4 times. And then, now when this injection thing, you know how it feels when you're injected now, is a sharp prick. It's not overly painful. It's not something you cannot bear. As long as you can bear injection, you can bear it. Even if you fear injection, it's childbirth. You don't have a choice. You have to just bear it, okay? So that second procedure, the second time around, a different hospital, a different anesthesiologist, I don't know why it was hard for him to find that space in my spine. He injected me like 4 times, God. Oh my goodness. But that one has passed. And then the third time I had the CS, another different hospital here in the US, just once they got it. So the first time they got it once. The last time, which is the third time, they got it once. But I don't know why that second one took up to 4 tries to get it. Anyway, he eventually got it. So when they inject you, the med into your spine, after a few minutes, you start to feel numb. You start to feel numb. So I started to feel numb from, let me say, from my ribs down to my legs. I could not feel anything. It didn't happen immediately, you know. It happens gradually. So small, they will prick me and ask me, can you feel this? Can you feel this? At the point, I couldn't feel anything again. And I think that's how they knew that it was time to cut. Let me not forget to mention that when I said to get numb, the nurses inserted a catheter into my bladder. Normally, they usually do this before they inject you. Well, it doesn't matter when they do it, but they always wanted to, all those 3 times, they always wanted to put the catheter. Did I say catheter? They always wanted to put the catheter before they numb me, but that thing is painful. So to me, it's painful. So I always used to tell them to wait till I'm numbed so that I will not feel when they put it. So they have to insert a catheter so that you'll be able to be passing your urine into the bag that they'll keep on the bed beside you. Because when you're numb, you cannot get up to pee now. Yeah, so they will leave the catheter in until the cesarean section procedure is over, and then the numbness wears off. When you're now able to get up and move around and go to the restroom by yourself, they will remove the catheter. So they put in the catheter. So now, after, remember that after they injected me, in about a minute or two, I was already numb. Then they started to cut me. While they were cutting, I did not feel nothing. I did not feel nothing. So if that is your fear, I don't know which parts of the procedure scares you. Whether it is the fact that you think you might feel pain, you will not feel anything. Even that injection they give you in your spine, you will not, it's just a prick. It's just a prick. You basically not feel anything. Or is it the injection, the not injection, the IV line when they open it with the syringe? It doesn't really hurt. It's just for less than a minute and then it's okay. So when they were cutting me, I didn't feel anything. And then before I knew it, I heard the cry of my baby. All 3 procedures, the 3 times I did CS, sharp, before you know it, they finish cutting. Even though they cut in layers. They cut in layers, and because they cut in layers, they also stitch you in layers. CS does not waste time. Overall, the procedure doesn't take up to an hour. I think it's about 30 minutes to 45 minutes, they are done. The part that even wastes time is the stitching, because like I just said, they stitch you in layers, just like they cut in layers. It doesn't take time. As a matter of fact, while they were cutting me and the anesthesiologist, we were gisting. We were gisting. All 3 times, safe. We were always gisting. The first CS, the anesthesiologist that time was gisting me about the traffic he encountered on his way to the hospital. The second CS procedure in another hospital, the anesthesiologist and I were gisting about Igbo children that don't know how to speak Igbo, because he was wondering how I knew how to speak Igbo even though I was born and brought up in Lagos. Then the third CS here in the US, we were not really gisting, but we were playing music. We were playing Christmas carols because it was Christmas Day. Yeah, so we were playing Christmas carols, and then everybody were just laid back and chit-chat and everything. But one thing I know, there's something that I can't forget that happened to me while I was lying there on the bed at the table. There's this heavy feeling I felt in my head. I don't know how to describe that feeling. Should I call it a heavy feeling or a dizzy feeling? It happened all 3 times, and it's always very intense. 2 out of the 3 times, I actually threw up. I vomited. So they brought like a bedpan or a pan for me to vomit into it. And I think the doctor explained something to me. He said it's a side effect of the medication that they gave me, the pain meds, I think. So my very first years, when that thing happened, I panicked on the bed. I did not know what it was I was feeling. I was so scared. But they told me it was fine. So by my second CS and the third CS, it was nothing to me. It was something I was even expecting to happen. So apart from that feeling, all those gists that we were gisting was because I was not feeling anything. Of course, if I was feeling pain, who would be able to gist? I was not feeling anything. That's why we were able to gist. All I could remember feeling was a lot of pressure, and that pressure that I felt, it only happened when they were now trying to pull out my baby, because they will not cut you a lot now. They will cut a small space and then try to bring out your baby from that space. So they'll be moving you. You feel your belly, your body moving from side to side. You feel them tugging and pulling and pushing. Just a little bit of pressure. It's not even uncomfortable. So that's it. No pain at all. So after the procedure, they now wheeled me into the recovery room. During my first CS at the first hospital, the recovery room was also my room. So they just put me on a, no, they didn't put, yeah, they put me on a wheelchair. They got me down from, no, they did not put me on a wheelchair. They put me on a stretcher and then they carried me, because there's no way they would have put me on a wheelchair. They put me on a stretcher and then they carried me and then placed me on the bed in my room. So by the time the numbness wore off and I got myself again, I was just there on my bed, you get. Now, the second hospital, the theater was in the boys' quarters downstairs at the back of the house. The recovery room was also there. So they just carried me on the stretcher and placed me in the recovery room. Now, my room was now upstairs. Children of God. When the numbness wore off, they now made me stand up from the bed and walk upstairs. That was the hardest thing I've ever had to do in my life. Because then the numbness had worn off. The pain had kicked in. And then they made me come down from the bed and walk upstairs. It was so painful, but I was so determined. In my mind, I was like, let me just do this, God pulmonary. Let me just do this and get it out of the way. So I was just pushing through. It was paining me, but I was walking. And they told me, it's called ambulation. It's actually called ambulation. And I hear that it's a good thing, because it helps with healing. It helps with the circulation of blood and helps with healing. They even make you, in fact, all three hospitals, they made me walk around. Even they make you walk around. You have to walk around. Now, the third cesarean section, which is here in the US, they carried me. They didn't even put me on stretcher. They just wheeled me from that theater. I was on the bed. They just wheeled me. No, they moved me from the bed where they operated on me, on Oyibo. They now moved me from that bed and put me on the bed beside, and then they pushed me. You know how their fine beds are? They will just wheel you. They will just push you. They pushed me from there on that bed. I was relaxing. They just pushed me from there and pushed me to the recovery room, and then left me there for some hours for me to feel my legs. You would think that they're waiting for you to feel your legs so that you walk. Yeah. When you start feeling your legs, they will start come there and still push you on that bed, and pushed me to my room. My whole bed, they push us. The two, both of us, me and the bed, they push us like that to my room. Okay, so let's talk about the stitches. Now, the first cesarean section, they stitched me up using the dissolvable stitches, the one that dissolves on its own. You don't need to go back for them to loosen the stitches, and it was fine. After about 2 weeks, I think, I went to the hospital. They checked and they saw that everything was fine, that I healed nicely. However, the second procedure at a different hospital, the doctor tried to use the dissolvable stitches. I don't know the kind, the brand that he tried to use. He said it was not holding. It wasn't working. So he warned me while I was on bed. He said that Nazor, we're about to do something you're not going to like. That the stitches are not holding, so they're going to have to use the one that I will come back to loosen. I was like, okay, it's fine. Because in my mind, I was like, what can I do? Do what you have to do. But little did I know what I was about to go through in less than 2 weeks from that time. When they now finished eating, I now went upstairs. They now told me, when I was leaving the hospital, they told me that in how many days I should come back for them to lose the stitches. Hey! Oh my goodness. Before then, and then I asked them, is it going to pain me? They lied. They said, that some people, it might not really pain you. They told me they would give me injection to help with the pain and all that. And I felt, okay, it's okay. But as the date was drawing nearer, the date that they gave me, trust me now, I kukuma like to research. I started asking people questions. Bikono, have you ever lost stitches in your life? How did it feel? Some people said it did not hurt them. Some people said it hurt them so bad. Hey, I said, anyway, what can I do? They've put it, they have to remove it one way or the other. I went there that day. If you see shouts that day that I shouted, I did not know it was going to be that painful. They gave me injection before they did it to help me with the pain. That injection did not do anything. As far as I'm concerned, it did not help me one bit. She will use something like tweezers and pull up the stitches so that there will be gap between the stitches and your flesh, so that they should have gap to put scissors and snip it. As she's pulling it, remember that the wound has not really healed though. That's why it's painful. She will now pull it up. As she's pulling it, I'm shouting. She will now put scissors and then cut it. She lost about 10 stitches in all. I thought I was going to die. As in, at a point, I was not seeing clear again. I was seeing everywhere was white. That's how it is. After shouting, she now finished. She now cleaned me up. They were now telling me sorry. I now came out of that place where they were losing stitches, and I saw that people were sitting in the waiting room. I was ashamed of myself. I was ashamed of myself because of all the shouting that I shouted. Hey! I said, never again, never again. And that's why when I now took in the third time, when I came to the US, the first thing I asked the doctor here in the US is, Biko, tell me, what type of stitch are you going to use for me? Hope you're not going to use the type that you tell me to come and lose again. He said, no, that there are different types, that one of them will definitely hold up. I said, very good, because you cannot make me come here and lose any stitches. I'm not gonna have it. It's not gonna happen. And then the third one that I had here, he kept to his word. They did not use that one, I'll come and lose. They used another one that dissolves inside. My God, I was so happy when I knew that I did not have to go through that type of pain again. So the stitches dissolved and then I healed nicely. And then if one of your fears is about the fact that maybe if they cut you, you're going to have a mighty big ugly scar. No, you're not going to have a mighty big ugly scar. As long as they cut you well and stitch you well, you're going to heal properly. They will stitch you just as long as it is well stitched. It will just hide. And there's a reason why they call it the bikini cut. They cut it under, like when you wear your pants, you won't even see it. It's just a small tiny line, a small thin line. Okay, don't be scared about that one. Okay, so let's talk about the recovery. Now, when it comes to the recovery, it's painful, but I always say that it is nothing you cannot bear. It is nothing you cannot bear. Shebi, you have wound before. That level of pain you feel when you wound is basically the same level of pain to me. It's not something you cannot bear. But make sure you ask your doctors to give you strong painkiller, like strong pain meds. My first years, they gave me paracetamol. They did not give me strong pain meds. The second time around, I told them that they should give me strong pain meds because my husband was not in the country and I'm the one that will be doing school runs and everything, and I needed to cope with the pain. There's one pain med they gave me that I was hallucinating. I'll close my eye to sleep. I'll be seeing things. I'll be seeing shapes. I'll be seeing all manner of things. I told them, Biko, I don't understand what I'm seeing. They now said, oh yeah, you're hallucinating. It's the meds. That means we have to change the meds. I said, please do. They changed the meds. But the meds they gave me were strong enough to help me with the pain. So recovery, and then just know that even though it hurts, it's just the first few days that are the hardest. Before 2 weeks, your pain will go. Every day it gets better. Just know that every day it gets better. And like I said, it is not something you cannot bear. You can totally bear it, okay? So my dears, cesarean section, it is not a fearsome procedure. And when you hear lidular fodynia, as long as you are prepared and your doctors are prepared and all of you are calm, the procedure will go smoothly. Nothing out of the ordinary would happen. Okay, just stop being scared about it. It is actually a lifesaver, and there is nothing to be ashamed of in cesarean section. So please get that notion out of your mind. Whatever notion it is that you have that is making you scared of it, just get it out of your mind and out of your head. I would advise you, one thing I would advise is that you should ask your doctor questions. Make a list of questions of your concerns or whatever to ask your doctor, so that he or she can quell your fears and reassure you and let you know how it's going to go. It will go a long way in preparing you. It would help. So ask questions. Me, I ask a lot of questions. My doctor, all my doctors, they know that this woman, you can ask question. Is it your question? Is it your question? So I just recounted my experiences in a bid to help you, so that you would know what to expect for your own procedure, so that you would not be scared. Don't worry. You will come out of it. You and your baby will come out of it alive and well, healthy and happy. It will surely end in praise, okay? Thank you so much for watching. If you watched up till this point, because this video is long. Even me, I know that it is long. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you. Stay safe, stay blessed, and we are gonna see ourselves as usual in the next video. Bye.